Okay, this is a general reading for the month of July. There's 5 stacks of cards representing Earth, Air, Water, Fire, Spirit. This one represents fire, and you can pick whatever stack you want, and as many as you want. You can even pick all of them. I really don't like putting rules on stuff. I'm like, so long as within reason, I'm all like, fuck the rules. um, just keep in mind it's a general reading, so it may not, apply to everybody. Sometimes it's that one person that needs a message out there. Um, Sometimes it's just very generalized, but I'll try to cover as much as I can. Now, when some people do these readings, some go by the book, sometimes some that words. Some go by their intuition and others go by their own personal symbolism. I go by the last two. I used to just go by my own personal symbolism, but I've been tapping into my intuition a lot more. Sometimes I'm like, okay, we're going with that too. Um, the way I look at it is neither way is wrong. However you interpret cards, it's fine. And the cards I'm using are oracle cards. Okay, before we get started, go into my notes real quick. When I was shuffling the cards, I kept saying December rather than, what cards would you like to be picked for July 2021. I kept saying December. I don't know why December kept coming out, so I don't know. Maybe something will happen in December. Maybe this energy is spanning from here till then. Um, Maybe there's something that's a bit more significant in December. Maybe something starts in July and it gets to its finished moment in December. I don't know. I just thought it was a little weird, so maybe I should just bring that bit up real quick. Okay, now to come over here. Why am I yawning? And get to the reading. Alright, when I was shuffling the cards, apparently I picked up a certain vibe. It says playfully being secretive, or you just want to experience life as a surprise right now. Maybe both. Okay, so apparently while I was shuffling the cards, I was picking up on this playfully secretive energy. Like, like when someone's dating somebody and they're like, I don't want to get rid of all the mystery, they teasingly don't tell you everything, but not in like a very mean, deceptive way, just in a very playfully way. And apparently I was also picking up on that's how you like living your life. You don't like somebody that just pour the whole freaking truth out. You're like, give me a little mystery, give me a little cliffhanger, give me something to wait on, man. Don't tell me everything. I want to take a longer time to get to know you and playfully get to know you. And I'm not saying it is a love interest or romance like that. It's just that's an example of kind of what I was picking up. The first card that came up is apparently I had them upside down. Let's fix that. The Lady of the Mirror, reflection, non-judgment. Now, she comes up to say to reflect on something from your past or in your current moment. Sometimes you're reflecting on something from the past, but that's so you can learn from it, analyze it, but do so without judgment, without bias. Sometimes when we're looking in the past, we may have a bias towards ourselves and be like, that person was such a fucking bitch. We don't stop to pause and think, hang on, what I said, would that have caused them to think or feel something else and react the way they did? Did I do something that may have contributed to that? And then sometimes there's a bias against yourself, Sometimes you may have grown up and being gaslit and abused, so you have a tendency to blame yourself. And you look on the past things and being like, I was an asshole, and the truth is you weren't an asshole, and you just... So that's why you need to look at things from a non-judgmental, non-biased view. And sometimes we can have a bias towards someone else, like something in the past that we were not in the conversation or the actions of, but may have heard our best friend's version of it. Or maybe we were there in the moment and watching the argument unfold, but you care about your friend, so you have an immediate biased view of that person's the asshole. I'm gonna back up my friend, and the truth is, that's not being a friend. That's being a follower. You want to be a friend. A friend is somebody that actually cares about their friend and wants them to correct bad behavior. You know, uh, and now that I think about it, sometimes there can be a bias because you hate somebody. So it doesn't even matter who they are arguing with. It could be a complete stranger to you, but because of your hatred towards the one person, you're immediately like, I don't fucking care what the argument's about. I hate them already. It doesn't even matter. And the truth is, even if they're a bad, manipulative, horrible, horrible person, I'll grant you that for the sake of argument, but they sometimes can still be wronged. And that can be so hard to admit when you hate somebody that's a manipulator. And I feel you, because I don't like manipulators either. And it can be hard in that moment when you see them being wronged to want to jump in and have their back. And be like, hey, this person's an asshole, I'll give you that, but today, right now, you're being the asshole. You know? So sometimes we can look at things from the past and there's such a biased view about it. And this card comes up to say, analyze, reflect, but don't do so with judgment, don't do so with bias. Actually reflect in clarity and think it through calmly as best as you can. It can be difficult to be calm in that moment. I definitely have some shit I can remember that I still don't feel very calm about when I think about it. But, uh, luckily for me, even though I can look at things unfondly, I do have the ability to actually separate my own emotions from that moment, from what happened, or separate my emotions in the moment while it's happening. Most people cannot do that, but somehow I do. Some people might say that's because I have Asperger's, so I'm actually able to distance my own personal bias or judgments and actually reflect what's going on. It doesn't make it easy, because sometimes my little anger in there is like, but I hate this person, even though I know they're being wrong right now. I hate them. And I'll admit, in those moments, I usually just don't give a fuck and I don't get involved. I'm all like, you're an asshole, this is probably karma, I'm walking away. But that's just how I personally handle things. But looking at things from the past and reflecting without judgment, it helps you to be able to make better judgment in the present and better judgment in the future. So, whatever you're reflecting on, reflect without bias, reflect without judgment. Just like how I have the ability to. This does not mean you have to like anybody. This does not mean that you have to step in and defend your bully if that's what's going on, or an abuser. I mean, like I said, I can reflect and realize when an abuser is being wronged one time in their fucking life, but I don't have to jump in and get involved and save the day for them. I'm all like, this is karma, I'm staying out of it. So you don't even have to jump in if you... So don't take the reading as that, because it doesn't mean you have to jump in. It just means there's a personal thing going on inside for growth. And that's why you pause and reflect on things from a non-biased view. So you can analyze it, so you can grow as a person for yourself, So don't worry, you don't have to get involved or go save the day or none of that shit. Kind of feeling like this is something maybe really old from the past. It's a memory that's practically collecting dust. It might be that old, but it's a reflection for your own personal growth. So don't worry about interacting with somebody that you might hate or you have a bias against. And when it's in the present, like something that you're thinking about doing, it just means reflect, pause, and think real quick. How are you going to say this? How will you word it? In what way are you going to take this action? Because it matters, man. Sometimes it's a first impression. You want to make sure that you've thought it through real quick. Sometimes you're going in for a job interview. You want to pause and reflect real quick before you go in and do that. Sometimes it's a goal that you want to achieve. Sometimes being a volunteer worker, sometimes starting a company. But the thing you need to do is pause, reflect, without judgment, without bias towards your own personal preference. Like, that can happen when you're planning on making a company. Sometimes you have your own personal preference. And you may be biased towards that while ignoring what your clients or future customers might want. And that's when you have to separate from your own bias and actually think about what product you want to sell and what would people buy. You have to think about not your bias but other people in that moment. So the card comes up when it's for, this is what the card means when it's for present things, and this is what the card means when it's for past things that might be affecting present decisions. I am picking up though more that this is more of a past thing that might be impacting present or future decisions right now. Like, you're looking back on something right now and going, was that really in the right or was that really in the wrong? Like, you're really pausing to think that through real quick and separate your emotions and be like, okay, hang on, was this really right or was this really wrong? What can I do to correct this in my behavior and my personality to not do this again or to not do what somebody else has done? I mean, and that shit happens. I can definitely say there's a lot of things I've learned not to do simply by watching a lot of my family growing up. Oh my god. Like, I've learned a lot of what not to do watching them. So I'm like, there are things you can learn what not to do from watching other people. Um, the next card that came up is the resting tree, patience, stillness. This card comes up when it's saying to just be patient, relax, chill out, calm down. You know, sometimes we're stressed about in life, like, am I going to get to where I want to be? Am I going to reach that goal that I would like to have? Am I going to have all my needs met, whether that be physical, spiritual, or in my personal growth as a person maturing? And this tree just, the resting tree just comes up to say chill, relax, calm down. Um, a tree doesn't freak out when it needs something. It knows its needs will come to it. It knows the sun is going to raise. It knows the rain is going to fall. It knows it's going to be okay. Um, I'm really picking up, though, that it's just saying don't stress. Like, there is something you're trying to reach. There is something that you want to and need to achieve. And it's just saying don't stress. Just chill. It doesn't mean stop trying to get to that goal, but I feel like it's saying just chill. I'm kind of picking up like you might be getting a little anxious and having anxiety on whatever it is that you're going after right now. And, you know, with the Lady of the Mirror, it might just be personal growth, personal reflection, and that's about it. And, you know, you might be having a little anxiety like, was that the wrong thing? Should I go correct it now? Should I go apologize? Calm down. Don't be thinking about apologizing. Don't think about reaching out or connecting right now. That's a decision maybe you can make later, but right now all you got to do is think about it, whatever you feel in that moment, you know? And if you're changing your mind about things or if you're going to stick with what you already believe and think. But, you know, while you're in the moment of pausing and reflecting, just rest. Don't judge yourself if you did something wrong, if you did. Because you may have been right, you may have been wrong, I don't know. This is your own personal growth and your own personal path. Sometimes it's not about what's right or wrong, it's about what's right and wrong to you. People's opinions can be different and they change, so you may be changing what you think is right and wrong. But while you're doing that, reflect without judgment upon yourself. Just reflect with correction, not judgment. There's a big difference there. And that's what I'm feeling like this card's saying. It's saying rest, chill, calm down, be patient with yourself. Don't freak out. Don't be impatient with yourself. Don't be feeling anxiety. Just pause and reflect as you please, but don't do so freaking out and stressing yourself out and wrecking your mind, because that's just not healthy. Try to take care of you and your needs and your emotions in the moment as well while you're reflecting. The next card that came up is the River Queen. Flow, letting go, natural movement. Now, she comes up when there's something that needs to be let go of. Maybe someone or something, a bad habit. It can be different things. And, being such a general reading, it could be different things for different people. So maybe some of you it's a bad habit. For some of you it could be an addiction. For some of you it can be a person. It could be different things that you just need to let go of. Yeah, so, it also can come up when you don't know there's something you need to let go of. And the card just comes up to let you know, like, hey, you're kind of carrying some baggage here. You wanna get rid of that, like, now. Let's get this clean. Sweep out the gunk. Put it in the trash. Throw it away. Out of your life. Do not keep it with you. Do not let it weigh you down and keep you burdened. And, it also can come up to say that you're in the process of letting go. It could also come up when there's something you need to let go of and you know it. So it's not here to tell you you need to let go of something. It's here to confirm to you what you already know. But yeah, I don't know if I'm picking up if it's a bad habit or a person or an addiction, but I am picking up like there's something that or someone that has been burdening you. Maybe this thing that you need to reflect on. Maybe this memory has been burdening you. Maybe there's been bad habits you've been trying to overcome been burdening you. Maybe there's a person that's been burdening you. Maybe something they said or did in the past or in the current moment. I just feel like it's been a burden. It's been weighing on you and your emotions and conflicting inside you. Kind of like I was saying, you might be trying to figure out what you think is right or wrong. I think that's what's been going on. You're kind of making a judgment inside right now of what is right and wrong, and not having the answer yet has been weighing you down and burdening you. Like, feels heavy, man. It just feels heavy and it doesn't feel really good. But I feel like the card is encouraging and saying, yes, let it go. Let it go. Because the moment you do that, the burden will drop and you can finally be relaxed like the resting tree told you to do. Let go of the burden. Let go of that weight of confliction and not knowing what the truth is, what the answer is. Sometimes you just gotta let it go, man. And wait till that answer comes to you, because sometimes it will come to you. Sometimes you don't have to think about it, ponder on it, and just sit there thinking about it constantly, obsessing. Like, there's some things that I have thought about when I was growing up, and I wasn't sure what I thought about it. But, sometimes a few years later or so, I will finally have my confirming thought about what I feel and think, and I will stay committed to that from that point on. So, if there's just something you don't know right now, it is okay to just let it go. Let it just stay in your thought, marinating, not obsessing, marinating, every now and then thinking about it until you decide what you feel and you think. But until then, let go the burden of needing to know. And sometimes it could be a friend. There's something that they haven't told us, they're too scared to, or they're embarrassed. Like, there's certain things I didn't tell my friends for a few years. And, that time had to be when I was ready to share it. I'm like, I have a really embarrassing condition, actually, and I don't share it with people. And I keep it private to myself because it's very embarrassing to talk about. And I'm not going to say what the condition is now yet at all, because it is something I keep private, but it doesn't mean I hate the world. Your friend, if you have a friend that hasn't told you something, just let it go. Love your friend. Trust that they would never hurt you. or lie to you or manipulate you. They just may not be ready to talk about it yet. And you have to be respectful to let it down and let it go. Just be the resting tree and calm down. Your friend will tell you when they're ready, and it may be a few years from now. It may be many years from now. It may never even be told to you, but you know, if it ever does get told, you can be ready to listen when that happens. But uh, and that is kind of what I'm picking up on. Like, there's something you want to know. Like, you're actually concerned about a friend that you love, or a family member, or a person. And the truth is, they're just not ready yet to share. And don't judge them for that. Don't hold them against you. Don't question your friendship as not being valid or good enough. It's just they're not ready, and you need to love them enough to step off, let it go, and let them tell you when they're ready. I mean, there's so many reasons people may not be ready to talk about things. Like me personally, my friends know what condition I have now, but for a few years I was not ready to talk about it. I would simply tell people that I have a lot of allergies. They're not actually allergies, but nonetheless, it's going to cause my body a lot of pain if I eat certain things. Um, and trying to explain my health condition that, that hurts my body is very complicated. And it's like, I don't have time to just sit down with people and explain the whole process of how the shit works. So just saying I have allergies is not technically lying, because I do. And saying I can't eat certain things, that's also not a lie, because I can't eat it. But are all of them an allergy? No. But they're all still going to cause my body pain. And it's something much more quick that people can understand by saying allergies, rather than having to sit down and talk them through the whole process of something I don't want to do anyway. You know, and not just this, other people may have faced trauma and they're just not able to talk about it yet, which really sucks, because sometimes it's rape, and sometimes, it sucks because it's traumatized them so much they can't even talk about it. Sometimes it's not rape, sometimes it's just something that they're confused about, whether they believe something is right or wrong yet, and they're not ready to talk about that with their friends, you know. But the thing is, whoever the person is, they have their reasons. It's not a test of your friendship. This is not a sign of them not caring about the friendship. This is just a friend that needs you to care about them right now, regardless of whether you're going to get to know what's going on or not. But you need to rest, be the resting tree, calm down, and trust that when your friend's ready, they'll come talk to you. But be ready to wait a while, man. Be ready to wait a while, because sometimes you can be waiting 3 years, sometimes you could be waiting 10 years. So honestly, be willing to wait a while. I know some people like to say it'll happen soon, but I don't like to be a liar. I like to be completely honest and blunt. And that's the fact and truth. We may not like it, but the truth is sometimes it can be years before someone truly trusts us to open up to us. And you have to just be willing to wait till they're ready. And sometimes it's not about them not trusting us. It's about the fact that it's going to trigger that trauma all over again, and they can't handle it. They can't bear it. I personally have gone through things in my childhood that I can say are very difficult to talk about, and sometimes I can't. Other days I'm okay, I can talk about it. Other days though, it's like, nope. I'm sorry, talking about it's going to be too much of a trigger. Even mentioning it is too much of a trigger, and I can't. I just can't. So sometimes it can be that. So respect your friends' space, and just let it go. Be the resting tree, chill. They'll tell you when they're ready. Okay? And hell, maybe that's why December was coming up. I'm like, now think about it, I'm like, hang on a second. Is December the time where this thing is gonna finally be laid to rest? I don't know. I'm not saying that's what will happen though, but maybe. Yeah, as I said, it's a general reading, so it's not really going to fit everybody. Everybody's little story is going to be a little different. Maybe December's that time though, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's something else significant that will happen, and maybe maybe you're waiting 10 years before your friend can tell you, you know. Okay. All right, the next card that came out, two cards came out, and that is this. Wait, whoops, this card came first. The High Lord of Gratitude and Service, Selflessness, Humility, Conscious Action. The Sacred Union, Partnership, Romance. I just immediately really felt something off of that one. Um, this card, the High Lord of Gratitude and Service, is just you being attuned to your higher self, the being the best you can possibly be. Usually when this card comes up, I'm like, some people look at the higher self like the perfect being. I'm like, I don't believe that exists, to be honest. But I do believe we can be the best us we can be. We can be almost perfect, just not quite perfect. I don't really know if I believe perfection exists, to be honest. So, but yeah, to me, that's what this card is being attuned with the higher self, being attuned with being the best possible you can be. And the sacred union, partnership, romance, to me, that's the lover's card. The, being intimate with one's soul, very connected to somebody. And I'm sorry, sometimes when I'm doing the reading, I get feelings just in the moment. uh, like, some of you, I'm kind of picking up like there might be an engagement or proposal. For some of you, I'm not picking that up, but I'm picking up like there's going to be a moment where your souls just connect and you realize this person you want to know more or connect with more because you can already feel that connection like at a deeper level. So for some of you, you might be getting engaged, and for some of you, it's just you might be finding that soulmate or twin flame, as people like to say. And even if it's not that, I do feel like, at least in that time being, they are that to you. And there's just a very deep connection between y'all's souls. Like, you can just feel the other, you know the other. You have a very intimate souls. Uh, I'm not saying intimacy as in sex, because I'm not picking up that fertility kind of energy. Just very bonded in the soul. Though if you're demisexual, you probably understand what the fuck I'm talking about. I have learned that much. I'm actually demisexual myself. I've only known about that term for like 2 years though. So beforehand, trying to communicate with people was difficult. And it still is, because everybody else connects in such a physical way. And they don't really think about the inner stuff. And for a demisexual, it's different. We want to connect with the inner stuff about your personality before we ever connect physically. We won't even feel anything physically if we don't know you. Oh, I could definitely say it was awkward when my sisters hit puberty, because both of them were very normal and I was not. Oh, that was awkward when your sisters are telling you how sexy a guy is, how hot he is, and what do you think, and then you're just sitting there like, I don't know. So, if you're not a demisexual, you may not have an idea of what that feels like, being connected into the soul and being intimate that way. But if you're a demisexual, I probably don't need to explain any deeper, because that's how we bond. Like, I want to know your soul. I want to know you. I want to connect with you that way. And then once you're there, then the sexy stuff happens. But I'm picking up, like, some of you, you're going to connect with someone on a deeper level. And I'm not picking up in a sexual way. I'm just picking up, like, just very connected in the soul. Now, as for the High Lord of Gratitude and Service and the Sacred Union, I'm picking up whoever this person is that you're going to meet or that you're dating or getting married to, getting engaged, or having a baby with, you know, your person that you're connected to, you know? And to me, that covers all sexuality so long as it's adults that are consenting. Adults. Adults and consenting. Then it covers all love types. And yes, I believe that also includes the asexuals and the polyamorous. I'm like, I include them. And for asexuals, they don't want to get down and dirty. They just want to snuggle or share cake with you. But yeah, to me, whoever this person is, I'm kind of picking up they are the High Lord of gratitude and service. Like, this is a very grateful, kind, loving person, very generous. And as it says on the card, selflessness, humility, conscious action. Something tells me this person is pretty in tune with their higher self. They are like the best them they can be, at least in this current life for now. Like, they're really good serving person. Like, they serve others, they care about others, and that's who they are. So basically, you've got to keep her. Don't you fucking lose them. Somebody is liable to take them away if you lose them. I'm like, because that's how nice they are, what I'm picking up on. And, you know, before somebody asks, like, what about their looks? I'm all like, I don't know how they're going to look. I'm just picking up this is a soul thing. And I don't know, I guess that's where the demisexual is coming in again. Like, this is somebody who they connect in the soul. They're not focused on appearances. They're not going to be focused on your appearance. Don't be focused on them either, because you're liable to lose them. Then that'll probably hurt their feelings that you're kind of being shallow. Um, but yeah, and for some of you, I'm picking up like you are that person. You're that person that's a keeper. That this person better not fucking lose you, because someone's liable to take you if they do. But yeah, there is all good energy. I'm just picking up on this one. This is a good energy. This is a keeper. This is not somebody who's selfish and is going to threaten to leave you over petty shit. Like, well, how dare you did make me a sandwich? There's plenty of other fish in the sea. You know, they don't hold manipulation over as blackmail with their kindness. Like, they're genuinely kind. And I feel the need to say that because I know sometimes we meet kind people and they seem kind, but they hold a bunch of shit over our heads. And they threaten us, they antagonize us, they belittle us, they an asshole. They're not actually genuinely kind. Everything is a you owe me. Every action they do is a you owe me. This is not that kind of person. Someone who's genuinely kind, you know, and if they ever actually ask you to make a sandwich, it's probably because they're genuinely asking for help, because they're like, yeah, it rained today, my joints are jacked up, I really don't want to stand up, do you mind doing me this favor? You know, or they're like sick and they're like, I'm gonna sit here and moan and groan, do you mind doing me a nice thing this one time? Like, they're not gonna do this on any given day and just be an asshole to you and ask of you like that. Like, they'll probably only do it when they really are not feeling well and they need your help, and you need to be somebody of the High Lord of gratitude and service, just like they are. They need that matched energy so that they have that strength to keep pouring into you. Um, you know, and I feel like that needs to be said, because sometimes people, they get selfish when they found that perfect keeper. Sometimes they get selfish and they take that person for granted. So don't do that. Don't be dumb. Be good. You know, be careful though. Make sure that the person that you find is the actual High Lord of gratitude and service, and not be distracted with baddies that pretend to be good. You know, that way you actually get the good ones. So be wise and intelligent. Don't get fooled. And when you find them and you have them, don't be stupid and lose them. Like, just don't. Um, you know, I kind of pick up on that energy and I relate, because I do try to be nice myself. And there's few times I ever ask anybody for help. But, when somebody isn't nice back and I keep trying and trying, I end up getting drained. And here's this thing that happens most people don't expect of nice people: we leave. I will leave. I didn't used to. And that's because I just cared so much. I wanted to make all their pain go away and help them feel better. And in the end, I was being, destroyed emotionally and mentally. Uh, and that happened and that hit so hard. I learned that I need to walk away. I can't let myself be drained like that. So just understand, this person, even if they're practicing at being the best them they can be, like I am, I don't think they're gonna stay right. If I don't think they're gonna stay if you treat them like shit. You're gonna have to then make sure that you match their energy. You don't have to be perfect. That doesn't exist. Just try to match their energy. Just try to appreciate and love them, and that's all you got to do. Okay. I mean, like, that's literally all anybody would have to do with me. I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking fine. There's not much that makes me mad. There really isn't. But, and you don't even have to match the amount of trying to be nice that I do. You don't have to. Just don't treat me like shit. That's pretty much what that comes down to, is just treat me like an equal and a human being. Don't treat me like shit. And I'll be there with whatever you need, with whatever it takes. I'll be there. So uh I can just feel this person's energy is kind of similar to that. So, don't worry, you don't have to be perfect, just like nobody would have to be perfect for me. You can just be the best you can be, and that's about all you got to do. So don't drain yourself obsessing to be perfect. All right. And okay, where am I? Oh, I forgot to mention, apparently there was a note attached to one of the cards when I pulled it out. It said, a little everywhere in your brain. You don't know what you want in life right now. Your brain is a bit chaotic. Ah, okay. And that was for the prior card of the resting tree. That note was made when it came out. The energy I felt when that card came out. Uh, which would kind of make sense with the reading already. So I guess I didn't really need to read the note because it already kind of went through that. Kind of did sound chaotic. All right, the last card, the Web Weaver, synchronicity, divine intelligence, cause and effect. This card just comes out to say that the universe is synchronizing with you and you with it to cause an effect and create something in your life. And I do feel like the universe is just saying, just take a step back, relax. You just being who you are, just being a good person, just being the best you can be is enough. And the person that actually loves you and cares about you will appreciate that. They'll hang on to you. They ain't gonna lose you because they know they'll never find a good you like you. They're not gonna find another good person like you because they're very fucking hard to find. That, or it could be saying that that the universe is synchronized with you to cause an effect to maybe help your friend to open up to you. Um, and realize they could trust you. And it could be something as random as sharing something on Facebook that your friend reads and goes, okay, they do understand. I can trust them then. Again, it might take a few years, so don't try to push it or look for it. Just live your life. Just be you. And I feel like that's what the card's saying right now. I just feel like you don't even have to do anything to cause and effect something to happen. You don't have to try to synchronize with anything. You don't have to do any rituals. I'm just feeling like it's saying, just chill. Take a step back. Calm down. You be you. Everything's going to be okay. Everything will be caused and effect in itself toward you. You won't have to try to make anything happen. If there's a friend you want to open up to you, the universe has got it. Just calm down. It's got it. It's all dealt with. You don't need to worry about it. If it's about a romantic interest, calm down, chill. Everything will be okay. It's just going to come at you. You know, if it's a goal you have in life, don't worry, chill, calm down. Even if you're working towards that goal, the universe will still help you with a little luck and a little bit of guidance, maybe in your intuition. Could be a number of things. But yeah, that's really what I'm just picking up, like the card is saying. It's just saying chill, calm down, rest, relax. Those needs, those wants, they're all going to come to you. They will synchronize with you to cause and affect things to happen and occur in your life that you're desiring and wanting to happen. Whether that's healing yourself, getting to know a person, making friends, getting a job, letting your friend trust you enough to open up to you, finding a lover. It's a general reading, so I can't really put my finger on it, but I am trying to cover all of it the best I can because it's a general reading and everybody's lives are a little different. So, just understand whatever that is that you're vibing with, that you want to connect with. Just chill. Don't feel pressured or forced to make something happen because the universe will make it happen for you. If you can work towards it, I think that's fine. Kind of like when you want a job, you got to fill out applications, but don't stress yourself. Don't have anxiety about it. Just relax. The right job you apply for will come to you and hire you. But yeah, that's about it for the reading. And dang, that's a long one. I'm looking at my phone right now and it says 41 minutes and 55 seconds. 7, 58, 59, 42 minutes now. Yeah, that's ADHD for you. But yeah, I hope the reading was helpful. I hope it at least also eases any anxieties you might be having and calm you down a bit and realize that everything's going to be okay. Just try to hang in there and calm down the best you can. So I hope it was at least enjoyable in that and give some comfort there and be a little helpful. And you have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, whenever you're watching this. You have a good one then. Goodbye now.